Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to create a custom blockchain using Lisk SDK. To do that, I'm going to create a directory and head into it. Before I start, I'm going to check the version of my node. I'm using 18.12.0, which is the right version at the moment. And now I have to check to see if I have the right version of Lisk Commander installed. Because I don't have it, you can see that I'm installing globally using npm. The production version and the name of the package is Lisk-Commander. Let me fix this. Yes. And since it's in beta version right now, you have to install it from the special registry, which is https://npm.lisk.com. This is Lisk npm registry, and you have to install it from there. But after the production version is released, you don't have to add the registry flag anymore. All right, everything is installed. Now I have to create a new project. I'm going to do that using Lisk init command, and it's going to ask a few questions, including the application name. I'm going to go with the default and an 8-digit chain ID. I'm going to give 0.040004. I think here I have to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, one extra. And this is right. Here you can define an application description. You can give anything that you like. This is just something for yourself. I'm going to name it NFT sample project. And the author, license, everything. So now it's going to install the required node modules. And after the modules are ready, it's going to generate the Genesis configuration that you're going to use to run the application. Wonderful. Everything is installed. And now they start generating the Genesis block. Everything is ready. Now we have to check the changes. You can see that there are a lot of directories and files generated. Let me open Visual Studio Code to show you what's generated. You can see inside the src directory, there's an app directory. And inside an app directory, there's index.ts module .ts, which has the module, and here in app.ts you can see that it installs all the modules and plugins, and one of those modules is the module that you will create. But in order for us to be able to see the changes that we apply in every step, let me commit this part. You can use any tools to commit. You can do it using VS Code. As you can see here, I prefer to do it through terminal, and now everything is committed. Now the changes are gone. You can see that the list comes with some topics, including generate. I'm going to use that one to create a module, list generate module, and I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it NFT. And here it generates everything. It's going to ask a question, should it rewrite the Lisk RC file? I'm going to say no, you don't need that. And here, the changes. You can see some files have been changed, including a module that we generated under the src app directory, and a file for endpoints, methods, everything. And now here we can see under the module directory, there is an NFT directory with events, stores, endpoints, methods, and the module itself. And now we're going to go through these files. One of the files that is like the most important is the module.ts file, which has the entire structure, including lifecycle hooks. You can see that before command execute, after commands execute, init Genesis state, finalize Genesis state, before transaction execute, and after transactions execute. These are the lifecycle hooks where you can define different logics depending on your application. For now, because there is nothing there, it's commented out by default. Let's head to the module.ts. You can see that we have imported the app as _app because there was nothing installed. But then later on, once we ran the command, it generated the module. So that part requires change. There's unit test that is created. The skeleton of the unit tests are created, but you have to test your module based on the logic that you import, and the module is right here. And here I'm gonna fix this quickly so you don't have to see that error anymore. Right here, remove the underscore, and let's remove this extra space too. Wonderful. So there's no problem here. And here is where we just commit all the changes that we've done. Now I'm gonna create Lisk generate a command for the NFT module, and I'm gonna name it create because it's gonna create an NFT. And again, the same thing. So now you can see that 3 new files are generated. So one of which is the module TS, which the command is added to it. The other one is create command. Here you can see that the create command is imported here and also defined in line 15 inside the array of commands. Right there, exactly. And the rest of the file is not changed, just the same hooks all commented out. And here is the command class created, which is extended from base command, and you have verify and execute methods in it, which you have to define. And here it shows that you have to define a schema as well as the parameters. Here I'm gonna create a type TS file and a schema.ts file. Later I'm gonna use to store types and schemas, obviously, in this. Before I start, I need to have storage, one for NFT and one for the NFT account. So each are gonna store different entities as the name suggests. Let me remove this one. We don't need this git keep anymore because we have files now here. Inside the NFT TS, now here I'm gonna define a storage based on the base storage that I'm gonna export it here from base storage, base store basically, from Lisk framework framework. Yeah. And well, I need to have the schema and, well, obviously the TypeScript class. But before that, let me define the here. Autopilot also suggests export class NFT store extends base store, which is the one that we just imported. And here I have to pass the type. Let's call it NFT. And now I have to define the public schema equal to, here I can import the schema from the schemas file. Let me name it NFT store schema. And now we can import the two variables that are missing. Import type NFT from the types file. Wonderful. And now the same thing for schemas. This is the name. Let me copy it from here. And from the schemas file. Wonderful. It shows errors because we haven't defined these values yet. Let me go to types.ts, export interface NFT. I'm gonna just give a name to it, which is a string, a description to it, also a string, right? 1 second, yeah. And an image URL, which is obviously a string. Very simple. You can add anything you want, but for now, simple. Same for the schema. This is just an object that we have to define and export. Export const. What did we name it? Create command. Oops. NFT schema. Sorry. First we have to define this one. And well, now that's the name. NFT store schema. For the storage that we just created, I have to give it an ID. Let me name it NFT/NFT. And I have to define a type for it, which is an object. And there are required properties for it. Well, we define name, description, and image. Well, autopilot also suggests, but this should be strings. And then last but not least, we have to define these properties. So there's an object. For properties, we have to have one object per these names. So name, description, and image. For each, we have to define the value type and also the order. What? Yeah, okay, that's why I was wondering. Data type for the name is a string. Yep, we just accept this string. And field number is 1. This is the first one. Field number is necessary for serialization, so remember to add it and remember to keep it correct, otherwise you'll face some errors. And 2 and 3. Wonderful. Now we have the schema, the first schema, which is for NFT storage that we just defined here. Why do I have this error? Okay. So I can actually quickly disable it, basically. 1 second. Yep. We don't mind that anymore. I'm gonna do the same thing similarly for NFT account. Just name it NFT account, use a different interface and a different schema. And now we have to define these similarly in type and schemas file. Interface NFT account, and just a list of IDs, so buffer array, exactly. And now we have it, simple. We just want to keep the IDs that belong to this account, and for storage the same thing, NFT account storage, name should be unique. We don't need all these, just the NFTs array. NFTs, exactly. And let me remove the extra properties and just keep NFTs. And this one is going to be array with field number 1, type array, yes. And member items, items. And here I have to define the data type, which is bytes. So now we have the storages, both of them, correctly developed. Everything is there. We don't need any extra information. And now we can head to the create command and start implementing the command itself. Just let me take a look. Yes, everything is ready. Now here we have to import, just to make it easy, I'm going to rename this symbol to create command params to make it easily. Now I can remove it and import it from the type file. Export interface, the same thing. So the same name, description, and image have to be passed to the command, same things that you can see here, so that we can store it in the storage. So now I've imported there. Let me get it from import type, create command, which I'm gonna copy from here, from the types file. Exactly. And now we have this, we need the schema. Let me just grab this from here quickly, go to the schemas file, and I'm gonna name it create command schema. Same name, just one of them is capital, the other one is not. Const create command schema equal to, let me paste that one here, and now we have to define what did we pass to it. What did we pass? The same things as the store itself, required name, description, image, same thing. Let me accept the suggestions over here from autopilot. And now let me copy this. Yes, exactly. So command schema is ready. We have to pass these 3 parameters to be stored in our storage. And why does it? Because of this capital C. Let me import it from there, from the schema. Boom, it's ready. Oh, why doesn't it find it? Because of the type. Okay, good. Now we have 2 methods. One is verify, which is for validation of your transaction. Here you can define any type of conditions. I'm gonna just, as a sample, define one. Let me extract params from the context, which is passed by default context. Let me remove this underscore from here. Now you have access to the parameters of the transaction. You can define any condition. Here I'm gonna say, yeah, suggestions are fine. Param name length. If it's longer than 20 characters, I'm not gonna accept it. So I'm gonna return an error. And that return has a status of failure, and the status, as you can see, it's already imported from Lisk SDK. It has fail, okay, and pending. I'm gonna return the failure over here, and I'm gonna return an error as a new error object. Error, new, oops, nope, error. Yes, exactly. This is a good suggestion. So now we have this. You can access to the transaction, you can access to the store. If anything is stored, for example, if you want to define, validate the uniqueness of your NFT, everything is possible here. So here, similarly, just remember, when you verify is executed before the execute, and when you execute the verify and everything is and something fails, you don't have to pay fee. But when it comes to execution, you have to pay the fee. So verify everything before the execution. Similarly, I just exported params and transactions from context, and now I have to get the storage. You can see import. I'm gonna get the NFT store from stores NFT. Oops, no. Let me delete this. Not always autopilot has a good suggestion. And copy this from here and duplicate it. Account, exactly, from NFT account. So we imported both of the stores. Now I have to instantiate those. Here, not like this, but I have to say, this dot, I guess, yeah, this dot stores dot get, and now I can pass my storage, and I can define this to a variable NFT store equal to, yes, exactly. Oops. NFT storage, better. Now let me duplicate this and do the same thing with the account, exactly. You could practically validate your transaction here as well, but it's gonna cost you the fee. Here I'm gonna export the ID from transaction, which is a buffer ID of the transaction. I'm gonna use it as an ID of the NFT itself, just to identify it, just to make it easy. Here I'm gonna define the NFT object. Let me check it if the NFT exists. As I said, you can check it over here, but the right way is to check it in verify, but I'm gonna just put it here. You can run it like this, and you can also move it to verify later on to see the difference. Here I have to pass the context and the ID, so it checks to see if NFT store has this ID. If it has NFT exist, variable would be true, otherwise would be false. If it's true, I'm gonna throw an error. Wonderful. Now that we made sure that the NFT is unique, let me create the NFT object right here and just pass the params. We don't have any calculation for now here, but you might have in the future. Whatever logic that you want to define might have some calculations over here. Here I'm gonna store the ID in the account, so the account knows exactly what NFTs they have, and store the NFT object to in the NFT store. So like both of them, we have the NFT in the NFT store and account in the account store. To store the account, because the account might have multiple NFTs, so I'm gonna check if the account exists or not, and I'm gonna act upon. Okay, here, so we wanna store the ID in the account. So I'm gonna create account exist exactly as we did before, this time with the account store, the NFT account store, and I'm gonna check if this address exists. If it existed, then I'm gonna just update it. Otherwise, I'm gonna create a new one. Let me just go ahead and delete this. We don't need this anymore. Actually, I'm gonna put it here. Cool. So here, oops. Let's say the sender account equals to, this time I'm gonna get it instead of NFT account.has, I'm gonna just say NFT account await NFT account store.get, which is a type of NFT account. And to the sender, no, because we know that the account exists, we can make sure that the object is returned correctly. And here I'm gonna push the new ID into the NFTs array. It shows error because I didn't define the NFT account. Otherwise, this should be an array, and the ID that we just got, we can push it here. Let me just copy this from here and import it from types. Wonderful. Yeah, error is gone. And now we have that, we can wait for the store account store dot set to insert the updated value. Suggestions were wonderful about Copilot. The sender account that we want and the value of the sender account object, which is updated. Now we can await for NFT account store to not create, but I'm gonna fix it in a moment. Not every time the suggestions are what we anticipate. Yeah, the object could have the NFTs with the new ID. But this should be set, not create. And let me just extract this as a new value, const new account from the NFT account type, which is what we said. And yes, the ID should be the address of the account that we're gonna set, and the method also. What else? Why NFT object is yellow there? Because it's not used now. Okay, so we set the new account into the account store, and now we inserted the account correctly. We're gonna do this same thing for the NFT itself, but this time we don't have to check it because we checked it before. And instead of the sender ID, I'm gonna put the NFT ID, and instead of this object, I'm gonna put the NFT object. Wonderful. Everything is ready. We updated the stores correctly, which are gonna be stored over here. And we defined the schemas over here. We defined the three types, the NFT, the account, and the create command parameters types. And these are all the changes that we had. I'm gonna simply commit these, add create command, yes, inside. Let me build it and then run it using the start command. I can pass the network and say default because default was created automatically, but we can even not pass it. It defaults to the default network, and it runs block height 1, block height 2. Wonderful. Everything is created, and now it shows that the application is running correctly. If you want me to show you how to test if the application works correctly and stores on NFTs, create NFTs, and maybe later on create a command to update or delete them, just leave comment. And if you liked it, like the video and hit subscribe so that I create another video and explain the next step to you. Have a good time. Goodbye.